So, this little video, we're going to look at Rubik's Cubes. A couple of years ago I wanted to teach myself something new. I've not learned anything new for a while, but challenge myself, so I thought, what can I do? So I thought, have a look at Rubik's Cubes. So that was the challenge I set myself a few years ago, and over the space of a couple of months, with the use of the internet, gotta love YouTube, I taught myself how to do the Rubik's Cube. So you get loads of different types of Rubik's Cubes. I've got a 2x2, well, somewhere it's lost, I've lost it or broke it, one of the two. I've got a 3x3, got a 4x4, got a 5x5. That's the 4x4. You see, 4 across that way, 4 that way. Can't do that one. This is the 5x5. 5 across there, 5 down there. Once again, I haven't learnt how to do that one yet, so I'm not going to look at that one. And this is the 3x3. Very traditional, first Rubik's Cube that's ever made. 3x3. This is a speed cube, so it turns quite quickly. It's not my bestest one. I've got another one, which is sat on my desk at work, which I like. That moves really nicely. This one's been broke. I think it got dropped at some point and one of the pieces in the corner cracked. But apart from that, it's a good cube. So yeah, this is a 3x3. And when I set out to teach myself something new here, I just went on YouTube and Google and looked at it and found loads of instructional videos out there on how to do it. But watching people do it and then learning how to do it is two different things, because it just takes loads and loads of practice. Just practice until eventually the algorithms that you use, of which there are only 7 for the method that I do. You just got to keep repeating yourself until the 7 algorithms are burnt into muscle memory, and you don't even really have to think about the moves. Your hands just automatically do the moves. Because sometimes when you overthink it, you bugger it up. So yeah, you just got to let your muscles take over and do it. So you can practice the algorithms without actually getting the colours right on the cube. You can just twizzle it in the way it needs to go, and just practice the movement really. Now, as I said, the method I use is probably the most simplest method, and as mentioned, there's only 7 algorithms that you can use, and you just got to repeat those 7 algorithms until you get to where you want to go. There is other ways of doing it, and if you want to learn to be one of these whiz kids where they do it really fast, you can spend a lot more time and you can learn how to do more algorithms and do it really quick. But once I achieved the goal that I set out to myself, which was to learn how to do the Rubik's Cube, that was it for me. I'd done what I wanted to do, so I had no interest in taking it any further than that. So yeah, today we're just going to go through and do the Rubik's Cube. So the way you do it in the different layers. And this is not an instructional video. I'm not going to show you how to do it. If you want to learn how to do it, you can bugger off and watch YouTube and learn how to do it over the space of 3 months like I did. But yeah, I'll just tell you a little bit about it. So the method I use, you do it in 3 layers, the top, middle and the bottom. I always start with the yellow centerpiece facing upwards at the top. So yeah, that's the one we're going to do first. We're going to do the top layer first. So there is a few instructions out there on how to do the top layer, but there's that many variations in the colours, the way that can be set, then yeah, there's not really very helpful. You've just got to get the basics right and then just fiddle with it until you get there. So now we've got a white cross at the top, and then to get the corners, you just have to place the piece that's in that corner underneath it and then move it to the top. So I'm just going to go ahead and do those ones. When I say I'm not the quickest in the world at doing the Rubik's Cube. I think my fastest time is about 1.5 minutes, but that was a lucky go, that, because I don't normally do it that quick. It usually takes me a lot longer than that. I get there eventually though. That's the main thing for me anyway. That's what I set out to do at the beginning. Get there eventually. Now, I don't know what my average time is. As I said, the fastest time was 1.5 minutes, but that was a one-off. I don't really time myself any more than that. So now that's that layer done. I've got to progress onto the middle ones now. So again, more algorithms that you got to learn. And so when you get really good, you don't have to turn the cube around to get the pieces to where you want them to go. But I'm not really good, so I have to turn the cube around to see what I'm doing. Yeah, so let's continue to get these middle pieces in the right place. So it takes a few goes, but you get there eventually. Sometimes when you overthink things and don't let your muscle memory take over, that's when you can mess it up. So it's a good idea just to let your muscles do the work. Nearly there now, just got one more piece in the middle to do after this. Yep, just that one there, so we'll just change that one. That one's over there. So, there we go. Just going to pause the video because the phone's ringing in a sec. So we're back. That's where we left off. Got the last layer to do, and that one piece in the middle there. So I'm just going to flick that round. One more go, and that one will be in the right place. And now we've got the 2 layers done in the middle. Now this last layer, that's the hard one because you got to try and do it without buggering all these ones up. Definitely doable. Let's give it a crack. Doing all right so far. So all I've got to do now is them corner pieces. This is actually the bit that I found the hardest, really, getting this last layer of these corner pieces. I found that really difficult to do. It took me weeks just to learn how to do that bit. But yeah, we got there eventually. That one move was the hard bit, and actually it's solved the whole cube. So there we go. That was a little bit easier than I expected, that one. So, I didn't time myself. We got interrupted with a phone call halfway through, but that's my little video on my Rubik's cubes that I taught myself to do a couple of years ago.